in round 5, Harry. Our main course. We're kicking off on Friday with Crusaders versus the Brumbies. Another cracker after the Crusaders Blues last week.
Yeah, I mean the Brumbies are in a good position here. We've got a few new injuries again to the Crusaders. You had Sevu Reece with an ankle injury that may cost him a few weeks, not confirmed 100% yet, but considering he hasn't had a week off, we think he'll be gone. And Lester Fainga'anuku as well is nursing a rib injury, so who knows if he'll definitely have a week off, but that one's tight there. And then Len Ikitau missed last week with some calf tightness, so I don't know that it was a tear. They haven't said that. Hopefully it means that he's back, though. And returning as well, you got Alan Alatoa coming back from his concussion as well.
Yeah, look, the Crusaders really, they've had a bit of a funny start to the year, but they managed to eke out a win against their main Kiwi rivals, the Blues. They really showed some grit. They had no Havili, they had no Goodhue, they had no Will Jordan. You just mentioned a few other injuries they had during the match with Reece and Fainga'anuku, but they still really managed to stay in this one, fight tough, and earn a well-fought win, I believe. And this was, it was a good win for them. So I think moving forward, if they can show more of that grit, you know that they're going to really be able to manage these tight matches and these, solid oppositions. Whereas over the first few weeks, they were really starting to raise some questions, I thought.
The big question for the Crusaders is if they're going to actually rest some of their backline stars here. They've still got a fair few players. Sorry, not even rest. That if they have anyone fit. So at the moment, I've got Drummond, Richie Mose, Macca Springer on the left wing, McLeod Nenor. I should mention McLeod. I thought was exceptional last week. Melani Nanai I've got on the right wing if Fainga'anuku is out as well. And then Burke, I think at fullback, probably will get himself a few more weeks there until Will Jordan's back. If Fainga'anuku is back, I'd say Nanai is the guy that'll get dropped off that team list. But, geez, it's a very different looking Crusaders backline to what we're used to.
The funny thing about the Crusaders, we've always said it in the past that they somehow managed to bring players into their setup and still look quite cohesive. It hasn't been as clear as that, I think, in 2023. But last weekend, with a few of those changes, they still managed to have a really good side. I think we suspect Fainga'anuku, there's a good chance that he may play. And if he does, that they still have some serious threats around the paddock. I think Burke looked pretty good at 15 for them as well. I know he's no Will Jordan. I mean, he's not even a Havili in terms of what he can offer at 15, but he is a good player for them. It will be a tougher matchup in terms of they're coming up against a really solid forward pack, a side that knows how to be really threatening with their driving mauls in the breakdown, with their lineouts. So if they have, a lot of question marks in their backs, as well as they're coming up against a really solid forward pack, it might be a challenge for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I always find fascinating with the Brumbies Crusaders games, the rolling maul battle. Obviously, the Brumbies' main weapon is the rolling maul to score tries. And the Crusaders are just unparalleled with their rolling maul D as well. At one point, I remember we were talking about a few seasons in a row without them conceding a single rolling maul try. So that's going to be a huge battle again, and one that I can't wait to see how it actually unfolds. Maybe the trick play, the Reimer rolling maul try will come out again this week. Because I think they are going to need their absolute best if they're going to get through the Crusaders there. And look, I think also the depth of their front row at the moment for the Brums is really making a huge difference as well. So I just name drop Van Neck. I thought had a huge game last week as well. I think Blakey Shop has had a great start to the season with Allen back as well. Slips on the other flank for the scrum. It's going to be a big forward pack for 80 minutes.
Yeah, let's not forget Nos Lonergan coming back in. You'd assume to the starting role at hooker for them. Surely he doesn't seem like an aggressive man, but surely he's not going to let Reimer keep taking the ball off him. As soon as he came on in the back end of last week, you saw him actually fighting for that ball. And once he absolutely had to dig his way in and rip the ball from Reimer. And one thing about McInerney is he did not do that. He just went, okay, fine, I'll just push you. and see if we can get over. So Ronda, he's not scoring tries if not is starting.
The other really interesting point for me is it's been talked about a little bit is just how Larkham is using his 9 and 10. You know, we're leaning into those cohesion stats and cohesion chats as we always do, but they're really playing White and Alessio together. Ryan Lonergan and what's his name, Debrasini together as well. They come on as a unit, as the front row comes on and off as a unit as well. So I think it's fascinating to see how that happens, and pretty cool to see and unexpected, I would think, that Lonergan and Debrasini were a real difference maker when they came on last week. So interesting balance to see how they're going to go. It wouldn't actually surprise me if White and Alessio come on at the 50 or 45 minute mark, so then that way they got their experience at the end of the game as well.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing that they've done over their first couple of weeks. I don't know if they're going to bring it back for certain matchups, but if it is something they'll do, it's probably a matchup, against someone like the Crusaders with a few players missing, that it would really work for them in their favour. This matchup, it's going to be an interesting one. We've got Toole and Mew ahead. You've got 169 kilos of wingers against potentially Fainga'anuku if he's playing Fihaki, Springer, Nanai, which looks like it'd probably be at least 200 kilos up to 209 kilos in the combination of those wingers. You have a very different style of winger. You have bulky and physical versus small, quick and agile. I think over the last, since the 2019 World Cup, we've seen a bit of an emergence of the small, nippy, fast winger. And this will be a matchup, to see if they can get one over the big boys.
Yeah, I think they're just going to have to get off their line, right, and make sure they pressure them before they can get ahead of steam up. Because if Fainga'anuku is getting ahead of steam up, I don't care how good at defending you are. You're not taking him down, and you're definitely not holding his arms for the offload as well.
Yeah, not a chance. How do you see this?
I reckon I'm going to go Brumbies in this one. I'm going to go the Brumbies to win this. Where is this? Is this in Australia? It's in New Zealand. Wow, that's going to be a huge upset. Brumbies to win by 3 points.
Jeez, that was exactly what I was going to say. I'm going to say it's going to be tighter than that. You're going way over. The Brumbies are going to win this by 2 points. And we're both picking the Crusaders to lose in New Zealand.
Yeah, I can tell you the line is 11.5 point start to the Brumbies. So no one else agrees with us. I mean, but they have been very wrong, right? There was an 18.5 point line for the Ndrua last week. So you and I were both profiting off that as well.
We've picked a few upsets as well in previous weeks. Back the Brumbies with the line. Don't necessarily back them to win, but back them with the line.
Back the win.